Hey everybody, welcome to the Bay edition of Dinner with the Devs with Schell Games. We are thrilled to bring in the Fit in VR edition. So we got some special guests with us. But before we get to introductions, just want to do some quick housekeeping. One, thank you so much for either joining us live or watching the stream after the live show ends. If you haven't subscribed to the Schell Games channel yet to get updates of when our Dinner with the Devs events are going to be, please be sure to subscribe. Any type of questions that you have or comments for Schell Games or our guests, please put in the live chat and our moderators will be able to either answer you directly in the chat or send it over to me to ask either the Schell Games team or the Synth Rider VR team. So first, with Schell Games, I'm Dwayne. I'm part of the marketing team, and along with me is Dave.
Yeah, and I'm the project director of Until You Fall. I'm the senior game designer at the studio.
And then along with us, we have the fine folks from the Synth Riders VR game, the Kluge Interactive. And so I'll allow you guys to do your intros. We'll start with Arturo.
Hey guys, I'm Arturo. I'm the executive director for Kluge, and we're the publisher of Synth Riders.
Hey guys, I'm Abraham or Avon. I'm the creative director at Kluge, and I'm the lead designer as well for Synth Riders.
And I'm Wirral. I'm the shiny project manager. Project manager. Yeah, you threw me for that.
I messed you up.
A product manager. Just call me.
Hey, one of them.
Just call me the PM. PM. Yeah. So long-time player who's recently joined the team and has been taking on a lot of the product management role. So making that interaction with the community and looking after things from that side of things. And yes, I have the funny accent, so I'm in Australia.
Good deal. So we got our team intros, and now we're talking about two games here. We're talking about Until You Fall and Synth Riders VR. Dave, you want to give some background about Until You Fall?
Sure. So Until You Fall is a crazy kind of neon synthwave VR melee combat game where you take on the role of this kind of badass glowing knight, and basically you're supposed to fight until you fall in combat. And it's a roguelite, so the idea is that you will get beaten down over time and time again by these difficult enemies, but with each attempt you'll get stronger, you'll gain knowledge to fight these enemies, and you'll be making progress within the run as well as making kind of meta progress to buy new weapons, upgrade them permanently, and just get stronger and stronger as you go. We kind of have this weird almost rhythm light combat system where it's not based off the music, but the music, the visuals, everything kind of ties in together so that we encourage you to really engage with this kind of choreographed attacking and blocking system. So really it's about knowing when to defend, knowing when to strike, and then basically looking and feeling cool while doing it.
Good stuff. And then the Synth Riders team, describe your game.
Yeah, we also have crazy neon and synthwave on it, so we love you guys, and we love your choices. So yeah, we call ourselves a dance action rhythm game, so it's a little bit part dance in that we sort of encourage dancing, but as well as bringing your own freestyle and your own vibe to it, a little bit like surfing. And then also part action in that we reward skill and precision, and it has a competitive play to it. And what we've learned about rhythm games is that they're deceptively simple. So it's all about how they can go really deep. So we have tons of modifiers, we have a multiplayer mode, and we have tons of stuff coming up as well.
Good deal. Okay, and so one reason why we were bringing in Kluge and the Synth Riders VR team is because we're part of a VR fitness bundle, and so the three teams, I'll introduce the third team in a little bit. We're part of a bundle. We released it in the beginning of May. And it's been a lot of fun working with the two other teams along with Schell Games. And Mac, if you want to do the honors and show the trailer for the team, for the viewers.
This is the trailer, by the way.
And then now what you're seeing is the oh. Now what you're seeing is the VR bundle Steam page of where you can get Until You Fall, Synth Riders VR, or Box VR. Box VR is made by the team FitXR. They're across the pond in the UK, so we couldn't get a chance to have them with us. But we've loved working with you guys, and they said that they'd be willing to join a stream sometime soon. So we hope we get a chance to do that. So if you're interested in the VR fitness bundle, make sure you wish list it, research all three games, and see if those games are fit what you want to do. So more about the whole VR fitness thing. Like, who would have thought that just a couple months ago, like, we knew people like being active in virtual reality because of the whole presence thing, but I want to get your thoughts, especially Dave and Abraham, Arturo, World, with you being a player. If you guys could just kind of talk about how did you see VR fitness or fitness in VR becoming an actual thing? What are your thoughts? Let's start with Dave.
Fine. Geez. I guess I'll start. Let's see. So I guess short answer, no. I mean, honestly, I did not expect it to become as big a thing as it did. It turns out, though, having a global pandemic where everyone's stuck inside and needed physical activity, turns out that's a great recipe for people to look to VR or other, avenues to try to find exercise. But I know for Until You Fall, like, the physical nature of the game was always something that we definitely leaned on. Again, like you said, the presence and kind of the heroic fantasy and the player identity of being like this, again, this badass knight. And so we encourage you to take big sweeping motions because A, it works best for the hardware, and B, you feel cool doing it. But also, as it turns out, you work up a sweat. And so I know a lot of for the team, especially, it's been kind of like, oh, actually, yeah, this is a great workout. Several of the team, several members of our team are also just using this as a workout in the morning. It's like, oh, I actually do 2 runs before starting work because it helps me kind of like feel physically active and a little more motivated in the morning. But yeah, no, it's like, it's this kind of thing where I think if had you asked me a couple months ago, I would have assumed this is like a fringe thing for like very, I don't know, this weird overlap of very technically savvy, but also very physically active people, and with a very narrow Venn diagram slice. But it definitely feels like it's picking up and it's become more legitimate within the past couple months.
Yeah, very cool. Abraham, so you're kind of the keeper of Synth Riders VR in terms of the creation of it. What are your thoughts about Synth Riders VR being considered part of this VR fitness trend?
I think it's coming along. We can see more and more people getting into VR fitness pretty recently. I think this is gonna be something like when I was starting listening like synthwave, like I don't know, like 70 years ago or something. It wasn't a trend, but it's coming like more and more popular until now, that I think is super trendy. I think what is happening right now, it is pretty much like early adopters, but it's gonna be more. There are gonna be more expert, more like fitness expert, VR related, coming soon. I'm expecting to this wave be like bigger, like 2 years or something like that.
Okay, so you think that we're just on the incline, the projection of it? You think it's going to be much bigger in a couple of years from now?
Definitely. I think it's going to be more intense also when within upcoming generations of VR, when people will be able to have like multi-tracking and all this stuff.
Very cool. Yeah. Worrell, Arturo, your thoughts?
Well, I have a dog in this fight. So with my other hat on, I'm actually a registered exercise professional. So and I run a very small gym, and I'm a specialist in over 50s exercise, so people over the age of 50. And as an early adopter of VR, I've seen the potential for exercise here since day one. Like and I've really just been waiting for technology to catch up, and I really have to say the Quest has been the thing. And you're starting to hear people saying, like, I loaned my Quest to my mum and now she's addicted to Beat Saber. This is a thing. And I was playing in multiplayer in our multiplayer room, and there was a room there called Seniors Over 50, which was just insane. And I dropped in there, and there were 2 players, both of whom were over the age of 70. So this is the tip of the iceberg. Gamification of exercise is a thing. It's a real thing. Les Mills and the big fitness franchises that do these things like Body Pump and Body Attack, they know this. They know that bringing people together and gamifying your exercise, so giving you rewards, these are all tricks that have been used in the fitness industry for years. Gamification of exercise does these things at a micro level and spreads it out. It's a thing, and it's just only going to get bigger. The Quest has been that thing. The cheaper VR gets, the more accessible it gets, the more we're going to see this stuff happening. And I'm hyped. I'm so excited. Really excited about it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So I don't want to just put you on the spot, but have you, what other, I'm trying to think, have you been able to use VR in some of your, like in your gym, if you were set up to do so, or do you plan on?
Definitely plan on. One of the issues again that you have in my situation with older people, what do older people often have? Vision problems. So that's an issue. Getting headsets onto people who may have cataracts, glasses, and things like that. It's an issue, but it's getting better. And one particular, I always have in my mind, there's one person who comes to my gym. He's a lovely gentleman who's got Parkinson's disease. So for him, he can't hold a lot of objects. He has a lot of tremors. And having hand tracking on something like the Oculus Quest, having a version of something that he can work with, because boxing is one of these things that's really, really good. Boxing and dance are really well known for people with Parkinson's to help them neurologically. Being able to use VR as a tool for this is just, I'm in 100% bought in. So I sort of think about the fitness is one thing, and that general population stuff is just great. But there's also this rehabilitation side and this really precise stuff that we can do. And yeah, I'm in 100%. I can see these applications everywhere, and it's just a matter of just retooling slightly, make it open to everyone. Like, I'd love my Parkinson's guy to be able to, hold his hand and be able to go slash, 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 But he might need classical music to do it too rather than synthwave, but, it'd be good. It'd be really good. And that gamification, when you can reward someone and engage someone, it's different than going to your physical therapist or your therapist and says, bend your elbow 20 times. It's like, yawn. But if they say, hit these orbs 20 times in time to the music, you're in, and your therapy's fun, and the person's going to do it. There's no fight. Getting compliance has always been a big thing. So gamification and shared exercise, mutual experiences, these are all really important for getting better compliance when it comes to exercise. I don't like having to flog people to come to the gym. I'm not like that.
Yeah, that's not fun. Yeah.
No, so if they can do it willingly, hey, I'm there. It's great.
Very cool. Arturo, your thoughts?
Well, I'll say when Abraham had the prototype early on, the concept of fitness and VR were so foreign to me that I was like, but my arms hurt. Isn't this ergonomically like not so good for you? I didn't really connect the dots. And then over time I realized like, oh no, that's what's great about this. And now I find myself, playing multiple games a day, and really enjoying the sweat and, the fact that it's keeping my cardio up, and I'm all in. And so I think that's the journey, right? Like, first VR is foreign, and then there's VR fitness, which is even more foreign. But once you try it, I think you sort of go into another world. And I, with Synth Riders multiplayer, we're able to see all sorts of use cases for it. Like, I go in there at night and I see like groups of like 8 or 9 friends that know each other, and they're in there, and it's clear that they're there exercising, and it's like they're there having a good time. It's not about competitive. It's like, okay, let's go, next song, let's enough talking, let's keep it going. And it's so much fun. And I just, I bought into it myself as a user and a player. So I can just see that I agree with Abraham. We're just at the beginning of this, and it's just getting notoriety. My girlfriend jokes like, this is not really fitness. Like, if you're not at a gym gaining weights, like, what do you mean? But I do think that there's a lot more to it. And the other note I would say is that we are paying a special attention. I was talking to Will about this earlier, about how we map our game on our songs to be, not just fitness, like, hey, side benefits, like accident, like how it came about, but really learning how to properly craft the game around how to do good movements for your body.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, we want to make sure, and part of my role in Synth Riders is doing quality assurance on all the maps, all the OST, and been doing that for a while now. And part of that is that I won't let anything go out that I think is going to be an injurious movement that over longer term. So there's not going to be lots of repetitive movement, because for injury you need repetition. So things won't be repetitive, and things will be in a range and a scope that is safe for a player to do sort of longer term. And yeah, we're really lucky that the main mechanic of Synth Riders is this forward back movement, rather than using all these big muscles in your back and your shoulders. So you can do these movements a lot more safely for a lot longer. So yeah, it's a thing to trying to make sure everything is biomechanically as good as we can have it. And that's why you won't find big jumps and things like that in our maps. They should feel smooth and comfortable and biomechanically good. So with my other hat on, I'm also a Tai Chi teacher, and have been for many years, trained at the Beijing Sports University. So I take that really seriously. So that is all about smooth, fluid movement that feels natural. And feel is one of the big things that you find in the OST for Synth Riders. There's things that should feel natural and not jerky, nice and smooth for a lot of movements. So yeah, sustainability is what you want.
So another thing that we all also consider is, from my perspective, and we complement to each other pretty well. Will and myself, is I'm looking at the difficulty and the balance in the map, like how things are coordinated, and will really help me out, like figure like, this is what we need to change this because it's like too aggressive, there's not enough chance to make this switch or so on. It's more than that, it's more deep than that, but just to give you an idea.
Good deal. Well, hold that thought, because we're going to be talking about different type of what good workout modes, for the in the games that players could experience. And I think that the difficulties and what feels easy, what feels challenging, I think that will definitely come up. But one thing that I wanted to also talk about is just the ecosystem around the VR fitness, like the byproducts that are coming from that. Like we talked about before, that all 3 of our games, Until You Fall, Synth Riders VR, and Box VR in the fitness bundle, are all given a rating by the VR Health Institute. And what is it, Dave? I think it's like 15 minutes of the game is equivalent to like easy to almost intermediate on an elliptical for 6 to 8 minutes.
That's
and so
right,
like so there's a whole organization rating games and trying out these VR games to get a chance to really standardize what's beginner game, what's intermediate, what's expert, similar to what you were saying, Worrell. Like, I'm not going to ask somebody who hasn't been to a gym for years to back squat 300 pounds, right? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. But they ease them in doing some body weight and then doing some short bar things. I think the difficulties in what you and Abraham were talking about, of really easing folks in to make sure that they can rise up to the challenge, and then have that desired difficulty is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny, we have graded, in our game, we grade from easy. And one of the questions that you find people saying, "Oh, I played easy and it was too easy." It's like, no, there's no such thing as too easy, And when testing easy, I pitch that as what my I feel terrible. My hairdresser. All right, I'll put my hairdresser into this game, and he's a jazz drummer, and he's just about to turn 70. So I have him in my mind when I'm playing this game. This is someone who's never played VR in his life. It may be his first experience. He's definitely never played a rhythm game. He does have a lot of really good rhythm. He's a jazz drummer, so he's got rhythm. But I have him in mind, so he doesn't move. And again, someone starting exercise for the first time, they don't move in the same way that a person who's done exercise every day of their life. You can't expect them to. They need greater time to think and process what's coming. They would have processed the cues. They're learning a system. It's a new experience. So I always figure easy can never be too easy. However, that does give you a little bit of opportunity, because with modifiers, you can make easy hard. If you make the notes approach you faster, if you turn on one of the modifiers to do note jump speed or something like that, if you use scale up play area, the cues are going to be bigger. So the movements are going to be a lot harder as well. So you find that people are taking that lower difficulty and saying, well, one of the features of that lower difficulty is density of objects as they approach you. And then they go, well, what we'll do is we'll make that bigger, so we have to cover more distance. So it's about that sort of thing. You might pitch it in one area, but it'll have a different use and a different practical application. But yeah, you're exactly right. Just having that, making sure that people are screened is a thing. Make sure that you have that difficulty level that's low enough, because this may be someone's first experience in VR. It may be in an arcade, it may be a friend's headset they borrowed, and it may be grandma for the first time trying VR. And it's not as silly as it sounds. I've where I work is attached to a nursing home. Front page of their thing, there's a bunch of people trying PSVR for the first time. This is what they do, and people are using interactive gaming in nursing home and retirements now. So don't be surprised. Until you fall could one day be a bunch of nanas with the swords. I think for me that'd be just fantastic. So yeah, always think you've got to have that difficulty curve, but you've got to start from that entry point, and it's never a waste of time doing that entry point. Don't be frightened of being easy. It's good. It's good to have easy.
Speaking of difficulties, Dave, so Until You Fall did a 0.5 update, and in that one the team decided to kind of rename the difficulties, and I have in my mind what I think is why you did it, but could you kind of talk about more from the actual team of why you guys did that?
Yeah, no. So Until You Fall has 4 difficulties. They're formerly called Easy, Normal, Hard, and Nightmare. So you unlock Nightmare by beating the game once, and it is very difficult, and it's intended for highest skill players to really show off and show how awesome they are. But something we saw earlier on was some players felt we would give us feedback about, like, man, I'm playing on normal, it's really hard, but I don't want to go to easy because it feels bad that I'm going down to easy. And so it's this weird label thing where they would have a great time if they just tried this lower difficulty, and it didn't feel like they had permission to try it, because normal is normal and this should be the normal, and if I'm not normal then I'm abnormal, and that feels bad. So something we ended up doing is to encourage kind of people picking the difficulty that sounds right to them, is actually relabeling it. So it's no longer easy, normal, hard. It's relaxed, challenging, and relentless. And so yes, while it's still kind of the middle choice is kind of reads as normal, because it's kind of like everyone assumes that the middle choice is the normal one. It is much more clearly communicating that, yes, no, this is a challenging game and isn't expected to be challenging. If you are having a hard time, you can go to relaxed at any time and try this other mode. And we saw a much higher jump in people using that difficulty, because both in terms of trade shows, because back when those were still a thing, right right before the world ended and we're all inside now, we showed the game off at PAX East with this change, kind of like to test it and to see how it goes. And we had a lot more people on the trade show floor being like, "Oh, cool!" And they would read it and actually just choose the one that they felt. Whereas before, we saw people be like, "Easy," and then just toss it over their shoulder. So it's interesting because, yeah, like we want to really encourage you to feel like an awesome night. And if you're struggling or bashing your head against a difficulty, or if the enemies are coming too fast, or you were just losing too much health between each room, like we have the lower difficulty modes that address that and give you more time to think and breathe and kind of learn the systems. So I don't know, it was it was funny to see how much of an effect just renaming the thing had on overall player satisfaction.
So, thank you, Dave. So, whenever we talk about, VR fitness, I'm thinking that, and I think you're right that there's going to be a bigger jump with more fitness experts, or people like World getting on teams to advise and be consultants for VR fitness. When, like Dave said, once the world's no longer ending and people can actually get out and like talk to people and go to places, I think they're called gyms or fitness centers, or yims, maybe it's a soft G, I don't know. But what do you think this impact is going to be? Do you think people will continue to substitute VR games as fitness, as a routine, or do you think that this is a crutch, or do you think there's still like I'm throwing a bunch of questions out there so we can have some conversations? Is there going to be some type of killer VR fitness app that's like, oh no, VR fitness is a thing, like a year and a half from now, I don't need to go to a gym? What are the group's thoughts on that? Anyone?
Well,
I don't think it will replace gyms, but I do think it's part of it could become part of a broader ecosystem, and I think some people will make it their de facto. So I think it's like always, there's a balance in there. But for me, it's definitely like, so I personally love surfing and yoga. And for a little while in the last few months, I didn't have as much surfing, so it was a lot of yoga and VR fitness. And I think that the kind of fitness that I enjoy is sort of engaging me, and particularly with nature. And I have found that VR does a lot about engagement, and so I'm not personally that big of a fan of a gym, because it's it's not my thing. It's more boring for me, and I have difficulty engaging with it. So I think it's just going to be part of the mix, and like everything, you're going to be sort of more naturally embedding it into what it is, what your fitness routine it is, and based on your personality and etc.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. I think that all that's happened now is that people have gone, well, I've got a reason to actually try this on a more regular basis. And so people have had that proof that, yep, it's great for cardio. So particularly in times like winter, when people are going, I can't be bothered going out for a run first thing in the morning, I'll stick the headset on instead. Wow. It kind of replaces the home treadmill, is how I look at it in a lot of ways. People have a treadmill gathering dust. Right. Well, instead of a treadmill, I have a VR headset. So it's filling that cardio niche. It's never going to replace the strength stuff unless someone like Black Box turns around and makes a home version of what they do with the gamified resistance. You need to have this rounded package. You need to have the cardio, you need to have the resistance, you need to have the flexibility for a well-rounded person. So it fits in one niche, and it's definitely that cardio niche. I was talking to a guy coming to do some repair work, and he said, yeah, we've sold so many treadmills during COVID-19. It's not funny. Like, we're out installing this stuff everywhere. We've been absolutely flat out. And that's the thing. So I think VR fits into that niche. We shouldn't think about it as being a whole picture, but it's definitely fitting in that niche. So you can do calisthenics with your headset on, so you can do body weight exercises. But other than that, unless someone makes a piece of equipment that does it, then no, it's just fitting in that cardio niche for me. But in terms of, again, compliance, gamification, weather, reducing the barriers to exercise, and COVID-19 has just really made people go and say, you know what, I'm actually going to pick up my headset more frequently. I've got time to do it and explore and try out a few different games. And yeah, it's been a good thing from that point of view. But that's how I sort of see it fitting in. And for me, you know, my dream is to bring my Quest into the gym and have some of my clients play Synth Riders, you know, play some of these games which are for fitness in a way that suits them. That's my dream. For them to be able to have that experience, because it's just another wide experience. The more your brain is engaged in what you do, the more compliance you have, and compliance is what it's all about.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. I just wanted to add, maybe this is more of like a funny joke, but in reality, like if you have a significant other and you tell them you're going to play a game on the couch, that's a very different situation than if you go like, hey, I'm going to go do some VR fitness. So I just wanted to jump in and mention that. It's a hot tip.
Yeah, I mean, I think really it is kind of going off all that. Like, it really is about the types of people that would normally not opt into going somewhere to do this type of exercise, or like, yes, and sure, anyone can pull up YouTube and watch a video to like kind of work out with. But I know I'm not that kind of person. I need something a little more engaging. I need something to draw me in. As a designer nerd, I guess, I love systems and I love trying to understand, like, oh, how does this work? Oh, I want to make the numbers bigger because that's how easily manipulated I am. And so so having physically active games that really, you know, encourage you to like either challenge you, like kind of like, hey, this game's hard, you're gonna have a hard time doing this, and like, oh yeah, I'll show you, and I happen to be working out at the same time. That's like kind of great. But it's also, I don't know, it's just super satisfying to be able to do something, be engaged at an intellectual level, and then kind of realize, oh, I've been doing this for an hour, and I'm very sore and sweaty, so I should probably stop. So having to stop because your body is literally unable to continue is like weird and exciting, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what attracted me the most, actually. Like, I used to play tennis a lot, and like having fun and like be healthy is something that you can do. I mean, I didn't find that going to a gym. So having fun, burning calories in VR, I think is interesting, because I mean, you spend like an hour or 2 or 3, and you don't realize how many calories you're gonna burn.
Yeah, it's that sense of time dilation too. Like, I think VR especially is like perfect at tricking you into thinking you've either been there for an hour or 5 minutes, and it's usually the opposite. Where, oh, okay, I've only been here for 10 minutes. Oh my God, it's dark out. So I don't know. It seems like for someone that tends to not be super into exercise myself, like this has been something that's been really, I don't know, better for me in general.
Just for the fact that if you want to beat someone in the leaderboard, so that's a hard work. So
Right. And it's a I don't, not that we're capital G gamers or anything like that, but it's like, it's that, I don't know, it's a vocabulary, it's a thing that we know and we've done in other games, and the fact that now in order to compete and master it, you have to physically move. It's something that's just like, okay, yeah, no, this is awesome.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, so I guess we're at a good point to start talking about the best workout modes for our games. And Dave, if you're comfortable with doing a plug whenever we get a chance to talk about it, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I guess we have a question here too from Debris Hauler that might correspond with your answer. Have you seen players? First, thank you, Debris Hauler, for the question. And any questions you guys have about this conversation, please put it in the live chat for us to see it. Debris Hauler asks, have you seen players make until you fall builds that surprised you or play in a way that you've never expected?
I mean, I think really the one that, I mean, so the build that I'm going to talk about, and it was something that we did because technically we needed to support it somehow, because in this game you can pick 2 weapons, and we have 2 weapons in the game where you can't block with them. There's an amulet and a gauntlet, and the idea is that these are offhand weapons. You can use your main hand to focus one hand blocks and attacks, while this other one can remain open, and you can just focus on single hand fighting, because wielding 2 weapons at once takes a lot of brain power. And just is weird to get used to. And so because we had 2 of these weapons, we had the realizations like, okay, well, if I'm a player and I pick both of these, do we restrict it? Do we just tell you, oh, sorry, you can only take one? That kind of sucks. Well, okay, if you take both, then there's no blocks. We have dodges in the game, so the whole game's about dodging then. So if you take both of these, we don't expect players to win or survive in this mode, so we'll support it, but hey, here you go. And it turns out people saw this and ran with it. One community member in particular, Croesus, dubbed it the Monk of Rokar, where people are basically taking these non-weapon weapons and beating the game with them, and bobbing and weaving their entire way through it, which is physically exhausting because you're just doing a bunch of squats and dodges left and right down, and you do that for like half an hour straight while also like throwing punches to try to do damage, very little damage, mind you, to kill the enemies. And so this past month, we did run a challenge on our Discord called the Monk of Rokar to see who else was up to the challenge. Croesus, I believe, is still the king. He beat the game on the hardest difficulty with the 2 Monk of Rokar weapons, so kudos, Croesus. But next week, I do intend on attempting this myself on stream, and so we can see how out of shape I am. So more on that to come later. But I guess, yeah, really, like, there are a bunch of fun weapon combinations that we are happy people have discovered, but really that one was one where we put it in because we technically needed to support it, but we didn't expect it to become such a favorite for kind of our more hardcore players. So yeah, that's the Monk of Rokar, and see me pass out next Friday.
You just gave me a lot of good ideas, Dave. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so good workout modes for Synth Riders. What do we got over there?
Well, boy, oh boy. So there are 2 main game modes. So there's rhythm mode and there's force mode, and you play them differently. So in rhythm mode, it's where you hit that's important. So it's as close to the center as possible. In force mode, it's not where you hit, it's how hard you hit. So you need to play them very differently. So a lot of the people who are wanting to work out and feel like they need to really lay into the notes, they go into force mode. The other thing, it's a fairly new thing that not a lot of people know about, is we've just introduced a way to scale up the play area. So you can actually say, well, you know, this map that I'm playing feels a little bit central, and I'm 6'9", and I'd like to move a lot more, so I can scale up my play area. In my house, so I'm 168 centimeters tall, so I'm 5'6" and a bit, and my significant other is 6'2". So it's quite funny watching both of us play the same map, because the game doesn't scale for your height, right? So, you know, notes for him that he's just sitting there going like this. I'm like, I've got no arm left. So scale up play area means that taller players can make themselves work harder, and it's Aben's favorite mode. Like, if you ever play multiplayer with Aben, he'd be like, yeah, scale it up 1.5 times, because he's crazy. But definitely explore that option if you feel like you need to have more of a workout. So try the scale up play area. Just watch out for your light fittings. That's the I've seen a picture from one member of our community who managed to get his Rift controller over the top of his lampshade, hooked up. He wondered why his hand disappeared while he was playing, and it's because he left the controller up on his light fitting. So just, yeah, watch out for the walls, watch out for all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the scale up play area is great. The other thing I would say is non-stop mode. So remember that fitness isn't just about, it's like the until you fall principle, which is, it's not just about one battle, it's about battle after battle after battle after battle after battle, that non-stop. We've got non-stop mode. So if you click on any of the song packs, you'll get a button that says play non-stop, and away you go. You can also create playlists as well, so you can put together a bunch of your favorite songs. If you want to work out, I would recommend the fixed games pack. So there's some pretty good maps and they're super active. Just grab that one and hit play non-stop. But you can make playlists yourself. So you can make one playlist. I think it's something like 3 or 4 hours worth of music in the game, just in the OST alone. So yeah, if you really wanted to, you can make a playlist of every song and away you go. And all that happens is you finish the song, bang, next song, bang, next song. So you can use the water break timer if you want to be reminded to stop every so often and have a rest too. Yeah, there's stacks of options in there. And the other one is multiplayer. I have to say, multiplayer is one of the best fitness things. We've been having Synth Sundays every Sunday. What's Monday for me? It's 5:30 in the morning on a Monday. I've done the first 3 of them and I've gone, no, I just can't commit to 5:30 mornings every week. But getting a bunch of people together with a playlist of songs and saying, okay, let's do these songs together. Let's trash talk. Let's encourage each other, whatever the mood takes you at the time. And it goes from one side to the other like this: trash talk, supportive, because it's a bunch of friends. So there's something really special, and that's that social aspect, which is really important too. So I think social is really good for fitness too. Yeah, so they're my hot tips for people, especially if you're migrating from other rhythm games. Remember, our levels do align pretty well. So if you're an expert plus Beat Saber player, you should be looking at expert master. Don't play easy unless you want to add some extra modifiers to it. But yeah, there's stacks of interest there. Yeah, that's my hot tips.
Good stuff. Cool. So speaking of, so we're all, we came here together to do that fitness bundle, which I think was a great idea, and that's why we jumped on it. What was the initial? Because for everybody watching, the Kluge team was really the masterminds behind it. And we thought it was such a great idea that we were like, oh yeah, VR fitness, people use our game for fitness. Yeah, let's do this. That's great. And so what was the initial thoughts behind that? Because I don't think we really got a chance to really talk about it. We were straight to business. Our initial meeting took, I think, maybe 40 minutes. So we're like, oh no, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And so, but we didn't really get a chance. It's like, well, why would you guys think of doing that in the first place?
Yeah, so but I want to credit Powell from our team for this, and he's the one. He's very straight to business, but he knows what he's doing, and he had experience doing bundles before. But the idea for the VR fitness was realizing that our players, and I think maybe you guys are seeing similar things, is that what people are doing is playing one game for legs, another game for arms, one game is the cool down. And so realizing that people are not like, we're part of a broader fitness ecosystem for people. And it's not just about one game versus the other. It's really like they want to train together. And so we saw that, and we wanted to make as much of a complementary exercise as possible for people in that bundle.
Yeah, I mean, as someone that was kind of on the outside, was like finding out that we're doing this, like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Like, I think something that's been really nice too is that because we're in this bundle together, like, not only are we focusing on different aspects of like exercise, but it's also kind of like, hey, we're all in this together, and this is a legitimate thing. And so it's this nice legitimizing effect of like, yes, other people are doing it. This is a real thing. There are lots of ways to do it. And it's not just this one-off weird thing. So I don't know. It was one of those things, again, kind of the combination of the pandemic and then seeing how people have been turning to VR for exercises, really been like, okay, yeah, no, this is actually legitimate and something to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and I think people are looking, I think it's the plus, right? It's this idea that like, oh, this game is fun and it gives me something healthy. Like that's pretty new in our psyche. And so the idea that we can play battling swords or dancing, and both of them have like this side benefit to them. I think people are looking more and more to what are the games that have this element, right? So that they feel like they're doing something healthy while staying engaged.
Right, and it's the kind of thing too, is that because it's this nice bundle, like, I mean, I hate, was it Neapolitan ice cream? Like, it's the 3 flavors. So this might be a terrible example, but this feels like the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I buy the thing because I know I like this, but I also have these other things that I can try, and I can actually find out like, oh, actually, this is a thing that I really enjoy. So being able to kind of have this kind of bundle and sample these different things really kind of gives you a chance to go outside your comfort zone, I guess. It's the kind of thing where it's like, I don't know, I don't want to dance. I'm not a dancer. Oh wait, that looks rad. Oh wait, this is a lot of fun. Maybe I should look into this dance thing. So stuff like that. I don't know. It's again like our weird glowy synthwave neon nights. Like at first blush, it's like, what is this thing? And then seeing people physically play the game, either with on a stream, like from first person, or like we did add live support, live. So you can see the third person mode, and really seeing the person kind of physically move their arms. Really, I don't know. It's this weird kind of like, oh, I want to try that. It's like this weird monkey brain, like I see the mirror, I want to do that, or oh, I see they're doing that and maybe they're not doing very well and I want to challenge them and be like, oh, well, I could do better than that, I'll show you, game.
Yeah, I guess similar to you, Dave. I think being a part of this bundle, because like Synth Riders, Until You Fall, and Box VR are so different that it provides each game a way to introduce themselves to different markets. Like players who are, it's like, oh man, Until You Fall is a roguelite, I am in. Oh, rhythm game, I don't know, but they'll try it. It's like, oh no, this is pretty legit, So I think just the crossover, the unexpected crossover for the players, I think is kind of fun.
Yeah, indeed. And I think these games, we find with our game in particular, like seeing it on a flat screen is a very different experience than playing it, And so giving people that chance. And by the way, I'm not a dancer myself, but I'm not gonna stream or anything. But I get my groove on when I'm playing Synth Riders, and it's a lot of fun.
Anybody can stream, Arturo. You got it, buddy. I got faith in you.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Yeah, come on. I'm
gonna watch Dave on Friday. That's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Look, man, if I'm gonna pass out on stream, you can at least dance.
That's right.
We'll
Yeah.
multi-stream. R2, we'll multi-stream, no problem.
Oh no! What did I just do to myself? Oh,
yeah, if Dave's gonna put his life on the line, at least what you can do is
exactly
dance a little bit.
You heard it here, folks. R2 multi-stream. Twitch.tv/R2/real.
Oh, my shoulder! Oh, I just got hurt. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, I had bad fish. I can't.
Oh man. All right, so you guys got some convincing to do to make sure R2 does it. Let's see. So moving. Oh wait, hold on. We have a couple. Geraldine asks the Synth Riders development group in their studio. They ask if it's located in Venezuela, but I could just make it more general. Where is the Synth Riders development team located?
Venezuela. That has nothing to do with us. No, so actually, Kluge as a team, I think we're the shop itself is 13 people and 9 of us are from Venezuela. So fair enough question. And Abraham and I are from Venezuela, but we're actually in Los Angeles, California. And at this point, the team is very international. Abraham doesn't sleep. He's got a 24-hour cycle. The Australians come in at night, and it's a lot of fun.
I do the night and late shift every day.
And so yeah, we've got members of the team in Venezuela still, and Los Angeles, and Poland, and Australia.
Cool.
So all over the place. So but it works really well. It means that we've got this huge coverage, and it also brings a real international perspective to it as well. So yeah,
it's funny because it's a 24-hour team. So if I need to catch up with someone, I will say sort of like, okay, I will talk with Powell at midnight or something.
This is funny to everybody but Abraham's wife, I'm just saying.
Fair. Is there a time of day where all of you happen to be up at the same time? Like that has been a hard thing where we've been trying to. We have a couple of people that are also outside of the U.S. and so it's been finding like, okay, I guess this day we're all going to meet at 9:30 a.m. because it happens to be early enough or late enough for everyone to be on at the same time.
Yeah, between Powell and I, we usually fight over who has to have the early morning.
Yeah.
So, and I'm usually fine. So I was usually, 5:30. I can do that. It's fine.
Yeah, World, you're a trooper. You get to bed. You get up earlier than I ever would. So I really appreciate it.
As long as I have notice, give me enough warning.
That's right. That's right.
Even so that Ava and I don't have post-midnight discussions. We always say I do my best work after midnight. It's it's good.
It's when the magic happens.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. Let's see. We still have some time for questions, folks. So make sure you get your questions in the live chat. Speaking of, being at home away from the studios, are you guys playing any other interesting games or games that you wouldn't have picked up normally because you would have time to be out and about, mingling with the public?
As I
Yep.
do.
I played Until You Fall.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, I did. I did my first play on stream. Actually, it was quite good fun. We're in mixed reality. Thanks for the live support.
Yep.
No, that was great. I had a hoot. I had a real hoot playing that. So Until
I
You Fall,
didn't see
followed
it.
up with some-
What was your favorite or your weapon build at the time? Just the intro weapons, or
I have no idea.
in it?
That's
That's
the
all right.
reality. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna hit some stuff. I got up to the guy where I had to do the dodging under the hammers,
Yep.
and he killed me several times, and then I went, okay, it's time to do some Synth Riders now. After I'd been going for probably about an hour and a half or something like that. But yeah, I had an absolute hoot with that, so that was really good.
Yeah,
That
him and the guy on the bridge are the two kind of checkpoints. It's like kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, oh god, I have to
Yeah.
fight that guy on the bridge. Oh geez.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Thank you. But no, that was great. I had a really good time with that. And the funny thing is that when I first played that game, my husband, he's, everything has to have natural locomotion or it's no good. He's like, teleporting, that's wussy stuff. And then when you saw that you could teleport into people as a dash, I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm just bang, bang. Had a great time. So I thought that was a genius mechanic, and I had such a fun time just slamming into people with my sword out. It was just so good. And practicing my blocks and doing all that sort of stuff. So no, I had a great time with that. It was good fun. So that's probably the game that I picked up. That and a little bit of Audica. So those two are games that I haven't spent a lot of time in and been spending a bit more time just playing a few other different rhythm games, and pancake streaming, pancake games, flat games.
Yes, got it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
flat
pancakes,
games.
great.
Yeah, pancake
Yeah, I was
streaming.
like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some
flat
syrup.
games. That's what we call them. Flat games. It's a thing. We call them pancake streaming. Pancake streaming versus VR. It's a thing.
It's a rivalry, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually done in pancake streamers don't know how easy they've got it, because
That's
VR
fair.
streamers- yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
moly,
streaming is
yes.
yeah.
VR streaming is a nightmare.
VR streaming is hard, and it's
Yes.
hard to find people who could do it well as well. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good fun. What have you guys been playing? Synth Riders.
I'm more like a yeah.
Wow, we've been playing each other's game. That's
Whoa!
you like Synthwave too? Wow.
Oh, it's great. It's glowy.
Whoa. Yeah. If
I
I had a VR headset at home, I definitely would have gone through the whole bundle, but I'm just on my lame little laptop.
Oh.
I need an upgrade, especially if we're gonna be home a little bit longer.
Yeah. I've actually been a big fan of all the rhythm games in general. I have the Quest at home and not anything else, so I'm tethered to what they release. But there's a lot of those going on, and I find, for the reason that they keep you active and they're stimulating.
Yeah.
I also find I like to troll around in multiplayer mode, whether in Synth Riders or even Echo and stuff like that. And it's great fun to see all the engagement that's going on there. It's like VR and multiplayer is still, I don't know, it's something very unique there. where you see people and you're interacting with them on avatars and whatnot. So I've been having a lot of fun with both of those elements. Playing around and talking to people in multiplayer or rhythm games and trying to get a little more fit.
I played a lot of Synth Riders, of course, but also I really enjoy Beat Saber and Pistol Whip, but none from the competitive side. It's more like because I like to have fun, but also I really get into like VR painting with Tilt Brush. That's something that I really like a lot as well.
Yeah, I've been doing so. I actually have been playing a lot. Some VR games, also a lot of pancake games. There we go. That's the term. So yeah, no, I mean, I've been playing. I finally picked up Bloodborne, which came out 5 years ago, and so I finally played and beat that. For whatever reason, it just never clicked. So I'm trying to look at other melee combat games. Again, just seeing what the space is looking like, stuff like that. In terms of VR, played a little bit of was it Walking Dead? Not Overkill. It's there's a subtitle to that, but played the Walking Dead game, Synth Riders, obviously. A little bit of Iron Lights too. Just again looking at other kind of VR melee games just to see like how they're doing it and seeing like what is working, what's not. Because again, I think the big thing that I'm still fascinated with and like kind of the design space is like, oh, how do you really do like subtitles in VR? How do you do like more accessibility options? How do you make it so that people that normally would either be unable to play or have a hard time playing, like what ways can we continue kind of like improving that and look at that to bring that into our game? So it's a lot of like trying to be a good designer or whatever and like take things apart.
Yeah. Yeah, for us, like I said, don't have a VR headset at home, so we've been playing the pancake games. I like that. But trying to get my wife to play more video games. So starting in easy, and again, rhythm dance. I mean, we've just been doing the Just Dance 2020, so that's been fun. That's a nice workout, and we always like the dance, and so hour goes by, we're like, oh crap, we went through like 20 songs, so it's been a lot of fun.
You like singing? Twitch sings. That's always a favorite here. Yeah, you don't have to stream it. You don't actually need to stream it live. You can sing at home. It's like home karaoke with thousands and thousands of songs at your fingertips, and it's gamified. It's great.
If belting out some Queen in my game room, I think that could happen.
There's Queen in there. There is legit Queen in there. I will leave you a duet. I'll leave you a duet of maybe Killer Queen or something like that.
let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Let's see. We have one question from Adam. Are you planning? We get this question all the time. Are you planning to release Until You Fall on the Quest? So, Dave, you want to take this one?
We have nothing official announced yet. We are looking into it. It is the stock standard answer. I know it's really frustrating, but it's something that we are trying to figure out. If we're going to do it, how can we bring the game? Because again, so much of the game is the visuals, the post effects. It's the neon hellscape that we built, and we're trying to figure out how we could maybe make the neon hellscape fit on the Quest. And so there's a lot of stuff to investigate. We think that the gameplay would work really well on something like the Quest. It's just figuring out the logistics and the technical, basically work involved in making this big game fit into the Quest.
Man, if you figure how to create like a good neon effect in the Quest, please let me know.
Look, man, we're trying. It's like we're looking. It's hard.
As a Quest only user, I really look forward to this. So please do it, please.
Yes, you and many others. So it's her. Don't worry, we hear you. We are looking. We are not ignoring this. We are doing our due diligence.
Yeah, the
have
team
you seen
is
people play it?
Oh, sorry, World. Go ahead.
Have you seen people play it through virtual desktop?
Yes, and Quest Link. Yes. So if
Definitely
you have a PC, that's the thing though. It's like you need you need the tether, you need the link, you need a powerful enough PC. So like obviously the advantage of getting this thing on the Quest is that it really opens it up so that my cat is just decided to
There's the
join us.
cat. Yes.
I
The cat
love the
appeared, yeah.
friends. Yeah.
It's just a little tip, woo. But yeah, no, I feel like getting like having this experience on the Quest with no cable, like there's nothing to like. It is so subtle, and it's not you wouldn't think it would have such an impact, but like not having the cable in the back of your head makes such a difference. So like I don't know, for those that can play it on Quest Link, it should work. We don't fully support it just yet. We're still on early access because we're still looking into like making it work with those different types of headsets and configurations. But it should work. It has been working for most of our players. In terms of Quest standalone, that is still this thing that we are looking into.
Good deal. Well, we're about to end this stream. So anybody, if you have any other questions, please get it into the live chat so they're sent over to us. So while we wait for those questions, if there was one reason to either buy Synth Riders VR or Until You Fall VR or the VR bundle, so you get us and Box VR, what would that reason be for people who haven't experienced one or two of the games? Let's start with Dave last time, and let's start with Arturo.
Ooh, I would say all three are really engaging, fun, and polished games. I think we've gone through the gamut. Synth Riders started in. We launched the first version in June 2018, so you got a well-tested game, pretty deep feature set, and a lot coming. So you'll get your bang for your buck.
We'll stay with the Synth Riders team. How about you, Worrell?
Three really different experiences, so they come from different perspectives. So you've got your slashing, you've got your punching, and you've got your dancing in action. So just think you're going to get three different experiences in the one bundle, and they're all at really good stages in their development. They've all come such a long way, and they offer three really varied game experiences. So you're going to get a really balanced workout between all three. You just pick one each day. You're gonna get a good workout with all of them.
Yeah, I would recommend if someone buy it like 15 to 30 minutes or something like that per game, that might be enough for a daily routine. That's what I was doing. And it's super good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to chime in. Obviously, get the bundle. I think it's great value. Obviously, not only do you get this different types of exercise and physical actions, but also just different flavors of games. Like you get the roguelite where you have the I die, gotta try it again aspect. You get the dance kind of rhythm aspect, and that sweet score chase. And then you get like a fucking awesome boxing game. It's I don't know. I don't know how else you would pass this up. It's because you get these varied experiences, both game mechanically but also physically. It just feels like an obvious no-brainer.
There you go. You heard it from Dave Bennett. Getting the VR Fitness bundle is a no-brainer. So hopefully, if you haven't done so already, you will do so very soon. Cool. So thank you guys very much. I don't see any more questions. So yeah, this is the end of the stream. Thank you so much, Kluge Interactive, for coming. Arturo, Worrell, Abraham, thank you for hanging out with the Schell Games team. Hang out for just a little bit long before we after we end the stream. Dave, Mac, Ali, Jill, our marketing team, who's been moderating and taking notes of the clips throughout this stream. Thank you guys so much for doing what you do. And thank you, everybody, for, again, tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the Schell Games channel. Take a look at the Synth Riders VR Steam page, all of their social channels. Follow them with all their big updates that are coming in the future. So you'll get plenty of updates for them. Follow us. Join our newsletter at untilyouFall.com. Follow all the @Schell Games, @UntilYouFall social channels, so you get a chance to see what's going on there. And follow Box VR as well, because they're an awesome team too. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.